Good morning, everyone. This is Miss T. I hope you had a good evening and you slept comfortably and woke up this morning, spent time with the Lord and ready for your day. Today, what I wanted to discuss is mental health. There has been a lot of talk about mental health, like, it's running rampant and people are having a lot of issues with mental health. And yeah, that is true with the situation going on in the world and everything happening. You could fall into some type of depression or anxiety. You should talk with your children and make sure that they are feeling okay with everything going on. If they're having anxiety or some type of mental issue. The first thing that I suggest if you're struggling a little bit with your mental illness is first, of course, go to God and ask Him to help you deal with it, to deal with some of the things that you're going through. Secondly, I would suggest that you see if you can lighten some of the things that you're doing. I don't know if you work a lot, have 2 jobs, run the whole household by yourself, stressed out. There could be just a lot of things that would cause you. What causes me anxiety is if bills. First of all, I don't like to pay bills, and I'm sure other people don't. I don't like my bills to be late, and I'm sure other people don't. But I will take my credit cards and I will buy things that I don't need, and then I'm upset because I have all these bills. So what I have decided to do is pay off all my credit cards, close them out, maybe keep one, because you usually have to use those to book flights or hotels or whatever. But I don't need, I promise you, when I was young, I think at one time I counted that I had 20 credit cards, and that was excessive. It was horrible. I did actually pay them off, but for some reason, when you have good credit or you pay off stuff, they just send you more, and I didn't have the sense enough to not do it again. So I have paid off 5 credit cards this year. I have, I think, 3 or 4 left to pay off, and I'm pretty sure that will lessen some of my anxiety. Like I said, I have a shopping addiction, and I'm asking for help with that through the Lord. It's coming along. I still, like, when I'm bored or whatever, I get online and I start shopping. I've done all the delete the apps and all those things, and then I put them back on, and so I'm slowly but surely going to get that together, because I believe that that's wasteful, and it could be money used for something important, whether it's just to keep in your account, or for slow times or crunch times, or to help someone else. It's not what I'm doing is wasteful, and I'm trying to stop that. So everybody keep me in your prayers. Third of all, if you find yourself struggling a little too much and you don't, you feel like it's a little hard for you to deal with, you can speak with a therapist. You can go in and talk about the things that are bothering you, or maybe it was something in your childhood or in your relationship or whatever. I've been to a therapist. I think I've been to 3. And what I don't like is a therapist that is ready to give you medication. First of all, they should go through I know why they give you medication. If you come in there and they feel like you're just, out of sorts and you need a little help to get through whatever, they will get you a little medication. But the first things that they should run through with you is changing the way you think, the way you eat, how you sleep, and not to overload yourself with things that you need to do. You don't have to be a super person. You don't have to be perfect, because no one is perfect. You can't save everyone. You can't help anyone if you need help. You can't be a help to anyone else. So, think about some of the things that you can eliminate out of your daily life that's not important. Maybe you like to go to the gym and that relaxes you. So you might, start going to the gym instead of doing something that might cause you, I have to cut the grass, I have to fix the window, I have to, do this and do that. You can't do everything at once. And when you try to, that's when it's going to cause you anxiety and a little stress. Do things that you like to do that calms you. Things that are that make you feel good or feel better or feel relaxed. I find when people like at work, this is what tends to happen, and it's not just at work, it can be anywhere. When people find out that you are dependable and you do what you're a person of your word and you do what you're going to say, they tend to lean on you more than they lean on others. So what I had learned at my job is we have to answer to someone higher than our department, someone larger, someone important, higher than the people in our department. And so of course they don't want to get any kind of bad report or any kind of complaints or anything like that. So of course they want you to keep up with the work and blah, 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 But if they find someone who can do the work of 3 people, as long as the work is getting done, they're not going to bother with making the other people step up or do what they're supposed to do. They're just going to let the person who can do the most work keep doing it, as long as the work is getting done. And that's not really, it's not fair, but it's not really their fault. I know some people, that's just normal. That's just how I work. That's just how other people work. They do their work, or and so, but once you feel like in the meetings you're always being called on, or if there's some type of project, or there's some type that you're always being called on, or you're always having to do new things, they pick you to do other things, say something about it. You don't have to be the go-to person for everything just because they know that you're going to do the best, or you're going to be good, and they don't have to worry about you, and they don't have to whatever. It's still, everyone is still getting paid the same amount. You're still getting paid the same amount as they're getting paid, and they're doing less. Not to say that you need to be like them, but I'm saying they need to learn or do other projects also. Just don't let them make you the go-to person, because then you start getting stressed. You'll start resenting other people. You'll start complaining as far as for example, I don't care how much work you do. I don't care how accurate you are. If you mess up one time, or what they consider a mess up, they're not going to say, well, you had a mess up. We know that you normally do a good job. They're going to treat you like that was like you did you mess up all the time. They don't, look at it like everybody makes a mistake. Everybody tries to cover themselves, and the lower that you're down on the totem pole, you get to take the brunt of it. And so, like I said, just don't volunteer. I mean, unless you want to. When you see that you're getting chose for different things and nobody else is, say something like, I'm already doing this, could you pick someone else, because I'm trying to work on this, and I didn't want to start something new, because that will happen. And no sooner than something happens to you, as far as you get sick, or Lord forbid anything worse than that, you'll be replaced the next day, and that will be it. So your health is worth more than their stats and their backs, because they want to look good. And I had to learn that. And once I decided that, that's how it's going to be from now on, I don't worry about them. In the meeting, I say what I mean. I say how I feel. Because like I said, you don't care if I run myself into the ground and I get ill, you'll just replace me. And I've seen it done over and over again. There has been a lot of people in my department who have passed away, young people. And they talk about when they're there, they talk about how good they are, how their mistakes are very minimum, and they do a great job. But as soon as they pass away, oh, did you hear so and so passed away? And then we don't hear about them ever again. And I feel like that's so sad, and I just feel like maybe if you work somewhere and they do care about your mental health, if they do have programs that like they bring in people for massages, or they have some type of course or class that you can take for therapy or something, that's a good place to work, because they actually care about their employees, and they want their employees to be healthy and good so that they can work, so the work will be good. That makes perfect sense. If your employees are happy and healthy, the work is going to flow. If your employees are upset and uptight and there's going to be more absences, the work is going to be below minimum. There's going to be a lot of complaints. You're going to get complaints from the outside. It's just going to be a mess. But unless you just don't care, an employer should really want to make sure that their employees are happy. That's the bottom line. But so you need to don't volunteer for overtime, even if if you are in a rut and you need some extra money, or I don't know, maybe that's fine, but all money is not good money. You want to have enough time to relax your brain, relax your body, relax your soul, and just take care of yourself. It makes no sense to work yourself to death and don't even get to reach retirement and this happens a lot because in my department, on top of people passing away at young ages, there's people that retire in 6 months they're gone. Never got to enjoy their retirement. Worked 29, 30 years and worked to make a department look great and keep up whatever, and what you got in the end was nothing because you never got to enjoy a vacation, or you never got to relax or do anything because you were gone. And so we need to relax. We need to make sure that we are keeping our bodies and our minds relaxed. If you've ever just woke up and before even starting your day, after you spent some time with the Lord, if you ever just sat there and closed your eyes and tried not to even think about anything, try to have your mind clear, just think about nothing and sit there. And when you sit there, and the longer you do it, you won't even notice that you're not even hearing, or you're not feeling, you're not seeing anything, you're just clearing your mind for the day. And when you start your day off, that causes a lot of, if you're having a bad morning, that is the beginning of your whole day. That's why I say to spend time with the Lord in the morning, whenever you need to, because a bad day will end up with, a bad morning will end up with a bad afternoon, bad evening. So yes, you need to make sure that your mind is just free and clear. If there's people around you that you don't particularly care for, you guys don't click, I don't suggest that you spend much time with that person. Now, if you're just a person who doesn't get along with anybody, then there's some other issues that are going on. But if there's somebody in your department, a couple of people in the department or whatever, especially if you have to work under them, I would suggest that you, if it's really that bad, if it's really that you would make talk to someone else higher and let them know that you feel like this person is not fair and you're trying to, do a good job and you can't with this person. So, and if they care, they would work with you, or, try and have a resolution so that you don't have to come to work. There was and I don't talk about stuff I either read it or I've already been through it. There was a woman in our department, and she was the most, I don't even know how to even explain her, but she must have had some type of, but they let her go on too long. Like, she would say so many things, so many inappropriate things. There was a very sweet, I think she was Korean girl that started working, and she had just moved to America the year before, so she wasn't really familiar with certain things. Like, she had gotten a car accident, and she let the man give her his information, and then she let him go without calling the police. And I was telling her, you can't do that, whatever. But the man did contact her. She was just so sweet. And so our supervisor, this is who asked her, was she a mail order bride? Now, I didn't find out till later. Now, is that not racist? Why would she be a mail order bride? My supervisor that was right over me got caught up in a prostitute sting, and everyone knew it because it was in the paper. Now, he was not fired, so he continued to be, the supervisor. But she was telling me, because he was caught with a black woman, prostitute, whatever. She was trying to say that I needed to be off of his team, and I am assuming she's saying because I was black, he was attracted to blacks. But are you calling me, so what are you saying, that I would, that I'm a prostitute? I was not, I couldn't, whatever. So here's where I was at. I was ready to go and report her, because every morning you could just tell that she didn't like me. So I just said I have to ignore her, and because this is becoming, it was too hostile. I was coming to work every day with an attitude because I knew I was going to see her. I knew she was going to be in my face, or she was going to say something, and it was going to cause me to have a bad day. So I was getting ready to report her. But one day I was sitting at my desk, and God just told me to be still. And I'm going to tell this story because it is this is a testimony. And he told me to be still. And I'm telling you, those words came through my mind. I didn't hear a voice. I heard in my head, be still. And so I didn't report her. I didn't say a word. But I did tell my supervisor, if she says one more thing to me, I'm going to, me and her are going to have, there's going to be a situation. And I don't think she's going to like the situation. So she apologized and went on about her way. She was still the same way, but she didn't really, mess with me anymore. Like, she didn't do things to try to get on my nerves. Now, sometimes supervisors will use their authority to do things that they're not supposed to do. She didn't have a problem with black men. She just didn't like black women. And so she had one of the black guys in the department, she gave him she put him up really, really high. And of course, the other Caucasian men around did not like that whatsoever. And so, but he was good at it. He was good at his job. I'm not going to say she put him up there and he wasn't qualified. He was very good at what he was doing, but he was cocky And I think he thought he was a Romeo, so he started venturing off, and talking to some of the women, and that he shouldn't even be getting involved with. So the dummy, and I'm going to call him the dummy because you had a great job. She helped you get where you were. You should have you should have not had your personal life mixed with your job. So the dummy started messing with a married white woman in the department, and she sent him nude pictures from her work phone, and he showed them to the other men at the job who was upset for him getting the job in the first place. So they went to the supervisor to tell on him. Well, she liked him so much, she didn't do anything. People were like, well, he's still working here. Maybe they whatever. So I guess the people that told were like, well, then we're just going to go over her head. And they did. So everybody involved got fired. She got fired. The dummy got fired. The wife who sent the pictures on her work phone got fired. And I didn't have to deal with her ever again. But because he told me to be quiet, he knew that, you're not going to have to deal with it, and you don't even have to get involved. Just be still. And a couple of months later, she was gone. So if you're in tune with God, if you have a daily relationship with God, He will let you know. You don't even have to. I got this covered. You don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to deal with it. You've got other stuff. You're trying to do this. You're trying to be a servant of God, and people will push you until you get back into your old ways. But if you listen, you pray, you read, you tell Him, just please be with me. I'm trying. I don't want to fall. And when He's talking to you, and when He's telling you something, obey. Now, some people I say, I heard be still, and that could have meant something else. When He's talking to you, you know exactly what it means. When He's giving you an answer, you know exactly what it's for, what He means, and be still and obey. After that day, I didn't worry about her. I didn't say anything else to her. I went on about my working. I just, she wasn't a thought in my mind. Now, I did not celebrate like the other people celebrated when she got fired. Because, she was not a good person. And yes, she deserved, because people who overstep their boundaries and use their power for, the wrong reasons should be taken down. But I didn't celebrate, or it didn't make me feel any happier that, she lost her job. And so she was just gone, and I didn't have to worry about dealing with her anymore. When COVID came around, they sent us home. And that was a big help, because I didn't have to be in the office and listen to people talk for 20 and 30 minutes and not doing work. And I'm diligently working. And so when you're home, you can have, you're relaxed. I don't have to, I work in the dark. Like, all I can see is my computer lights until it starts to get, the sun starts to come up. And I might play a little music just to calm me down. And it's so relaxing. I can get so much work done. I don't have to hear people, a lot of noise like I did in the office. I didn't have to deal with people that were being belligerent or being mean, whatever. I didn't have to deal with it. And so it made it easy. So we've been home for the whole time, and I don't even know how many years. Was it the end of 1919, COVID-19? And we found out that we don't have to go back to the building. And so that's comforting. It's just more, it's easier. People who mess up, because there will be people who mess up, like they'll still be at home and still won't do any work. They will have to go back to the building. And I'm thinking, why would you? Never mind, I don't have to think, because it's not, it's not none of my business. So, there's a lot of things you can check off your list to make things easier in your life, to make it calmer, so you don't just explode, where you just scream like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. If you're in a relationship and you don't think your relationship is going very well, now I'm really speaking on a marriage, because that's very, very important. You took a vow to be together. I would suggest maybe counseling for you two. If it's a relationship, you would have to decide the importance of the relationship, if you need counseling or if you just need to part ways, or whatever, depending on how bad the situation is. You don't want to continuously be in something that you don't feel is even going anywhere or is going to get any better, and it might get worse. You have to make sure that you're okay. If you're a single parent, whether you're a mother or a father, you have to be okay, or no one else is going to be okay. You can't raise your children and be there for your children if you can't even get out of the bed. If you feel like you're just at your wits end and you can't make a decision, or you can't concentrate on one thing, or you're not going to be good to anyone. So your health, mental health, means more than basically everyone in the house, because if you got yours together, then you can help keep theirs on track. I suggest, like I said, keep God in your prayers, and you spend time talking to Him. God, you know what I'm going through, and I'm just asking you to remove this, or help me with this, or change my mind on this, or remove all the things that are hindering me. Remove the people out of my life who really don't care about me. They're plotting behind my back, and people be like, oh, somebody plotting. Who are you? The CIA? I mean, people will plot behind your back. I don't care who you are. You will have secret people who hate you. And what that means is they think that you're, like you just have everything going. You're smart. They think you're pretty. You have, or handsome. You have, nice things or whatever. But they hate you for that. So you need to be careful of those people. I had a friend, we were good friends, and I used to do everything for her and her kids. Whatever she needed me to do, I would do. She used to tell me all the time, you're such a, just build me up and say all these. Now, when there's someone who cares or thinks that you're the better than they are, there's something wrong. There's something deeply wrong, and it's called admiration. They admire you, but they hate you for the person that you are. They wish that they could be like you, but they hate you because you're like you. And I had to learn that the hard way. Yeah, learned it, a valuable lesson. And as I say, as long as you always learn a lesson, when you get into, you find you've learned your lesson and you don't repeat, then it was worth it. She's not going to stop me from caring about people or helping people or, continue to be who I am. I just know the signs of a true friend now. I know how people care about you, how people act, how people receive you when they really genuinely care about you. And so if I feel any twinge of this is not real, or you have an agenda, or you're, whatever, you have to go. And that's to protect me, my peace, my, how I'm feeling. I have to stay on top of my things. I have to stay focused on what I need to do. And the only friend that I truly need is Jesus. Because I know he's not going to talk about me behind my back. He's not going to try to start rumors and get people to say bad things about me, or he's not going to try to sleep with my boyfriend, but that was way back because I don't date anymore. None of that. I don't have to worry about what he is going to do because I already know. People's minds will switch from day to day. 1 minute they're whatever, and the next minute. So if you feel any kind of inkling of something that's not right, and something you just don't feel it, let it go. Even if they come to you and say they didn't mean that, and they were sorry, and they would never do that, if you feel that in your heart, let it go. Because what they're hoping, because they know what kind of person you are, they know that you're a kind person, they know that you love to help people, they're hoping that you will just overlook what they've done and take them back so they can wreak more havoc. So just let them go. God will bring, if so, he will bring people around you who are genuine. And you can tell a genuine person after spending a little time with them. What I also wanted to say, they did an experiment. Your mind will play tricks on you also about mental health. If you keep thinking that you have mental health, that you can't deal with, your brain is shutting down, or you're just, that could be all in your head. It could possibly be in your head because you're reading signs, you're reading things that say this is mental health, you're reading things that say if you do this and this and that, this could possibly be mental health, and people are diagnosing themselves and they're saying they have mental health. Well, they did an experiment, and they took a group of women and they said, we're going to sit you here and we're going to give you alcohol, and we're going to see which one of you gets drunk first. We're going to give you all the same amount, but we want to see which one of you gets drunk first. And so they continued to give them these drinks, and pretty soon they were acting loopy and laughing and falling out and and just acting crazy. And you know how women act when they get drunk, and just cracking jokes and laughing at one another, and one fell out the chair and they was just having a good time. So the man said, okay, we're done. And so they were sitting there and they were waiting for the results. And the man told them there was no alcohol in any of the glasses, not a drop. So because they told them that there was alcohol and that they wanted to see who got drunk the fastest, their brains told them that they were supposed to be drunk. And there was no alcohol in the drink. So where did the action come from? How did you fall out and slur your words and do all these different things? That's because your mind told you that you're supposed to be drunk. So if your mind tells you, if your doctor tells you that you have PTSD, whatever, you have whatever syndrome or whatever, your mind is going to tell you that you need to act a certain way. And it might not even be true. So you have to be very careful, because they will put labels on you. And when you don't really know that when a doctor labels you and puts something in your chart, you don't know what that does for later on. I don't know how they use mental illness for insurance purposes. I don't know how they would use mental illness if you're trying to go for a big top kind of job. So if you just let them put anything in your chart, that can be detrimental to your life, your lifestyle, and this really may not be you. So the main basic, I think, mental illness that they try to put is PTSD and manic depression, is what they usually label you as. It's just a simple label. It's not really, it doesn't say that you're going to snap out or whatever. It just says that you may have days where you're down or you're feeling a certain way. Now, I'm pretty sure they work a little differently when they're trying to label you as schizophrenic or any other, higher mental illness. But you still have to watch out for yourself, because again, the pills, the pharmacy, they make money off of continuously keeping you doped up with the pills, and then you're not learning how to cope with things because you're just your mind is being controlled, is being altered by medicine. So you're not learning how to cope with some type of major issue that's going on. You're just not dealing with it because this medicine makes you feel a certain kind of way. When I dropped the first therapist I went to because she put me on medication right away, and what she gave me was Prozac, and I can't think of the medicine she gave me at night. Is it Ambien? Those are the two most powerful drugs on the market. And I'm telling you, I went a whole year and a half living my life in a bubble. I don't even know if I was I don't even know if I was there. I was not there. I don't remember, I felt nothing. There was nothing. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel anything. And then she told me to take these Ambien at night. I think they took those off the market, and they should have. I took the 2 pills, and I was laying down, and I couldn't move. I couldn't even get up if I wanted to. I couldn't use my arms. I couldn't use my legs. I was stuck in the bed, and that's dangerous. If there's a fire, if there's any kind of emergency. So I woke up the next morning, flushed the rest of them down the toilet. But it never took those. But I took Prozac because it made me feel absolutely nothing. I couldn't even cry if I wanted to. So it just numbed all your feelings. So you didn't have to worry. So you didn't have to feel anything. And so I realized that it wasn't good for me because you can't make decisions not feeling anything. You will make bad decisions. I don't care, because you didn't care. And so I had to realize that the medicine is not the cure. It's me seeking help verbally, and for me to pray to God. He's the know-all. He's the medicine. He's the counselor. He's the friend. He's the parent when he's the everything. And that's really who and what I go to for everything. I can't make a decision. I can't decide anything without him, because when I make the decision doesn't seem to always come out right. I know me. I know that I'm a nice, caring person, but if I'm pushed to a limit, there's an awful side of me that I don't ever want to show. I don't ever want to be that person. And so he works with me to not become that person. And so far he's helped me overcome that person who, it's almost like you become that person because you feel like you've tried, you're doing your best, and you help people whenever you can, and you're always giving advice, and people are always coming to you, and you're always lending money, and most times you don't never get it back, and you pay people's bills, and you do all this, and then when one person takes your kindness and they just really feel disrespected, you get into some type of outer body thing, some kind of outer body situation, and then it also makes you question, I'm gonna stop doing this for people because they don't appreciate, they try to use me. But that is not every person. That is that person. So don't judge everybody by the actions of one person. If we were judged, if God judged us by the actions of one person, we'd be doomed. So I don't judge everyone or miss whatever because one person or two people did that to me. So I don't think, oh well, everybody else is the same. I do it on a one, if you're straight with me, if you're cool with me, then that's how I'm going to be with you. And God always guides me. He always lets me know, let it go, or don't get it started, or whatever. He wants you to do his word, but he does not want you to be mistreated and go through anything that makes you doubt the word, makes you doubt that is this true that I'm supposed to love people who don't love me, or I'm supposed to help people who could care less about if I'm okay? He doesn't want you to have that doubt. So he's not going to let the devil's soldiers or have the devil use people to try to turn you back around, because that's what the devil is. He's trying to take you and put you on his side, and he tries every trick in the book, and he uses whomever he can use to get you that way. But like I said, he doesn't defeat God. He tried that in heaven. He wanted to be the most beautiful angel with the best singing voice. He wasn't satisfied with just being in heaven, with just having the glories and the love and the precious things that they had in heaven. He wasn't just satisfied with that. He wanted to be better than God. He wanted to be top dog. And now where it's got him is he will never be anything but doomed. That's his life. He chose it, and the third of the angels that went with him chose him. And for him to get that many angels to follow him, we already know that he's a smooth talker. He's a manipulator. He's a liar. He uses every tactic that he can to get you to change, to switch over. And once he gets you to maybe step a little bit, he gets something that will grab you, and then you won't be able to let go, or he won't be able to. You can't get away. So you think he'll make you believe once you stepped over, God's not going to accept you back, and that's not true. So, what we need to do is take care of our mental health, find the right program to get into. Don't be so willing to accept drugs. Remove things out of your life that aren't lifting you up or making you happy. Remove people out of your life who seem to cause issues all the time. There's nothing. They don't bring anything positive or nice or uplifting to your life. What are they there for? Do things that make you happy. Have time for yourself. I do suggest having massages that will relax your whole body. It's worth it. You can just clear your mind and just let go of. And if you have them like once a week at the end of the week, the week that you went through, you can just release it at the end of the week, and you don't have to take it with you to the next week and then add other stuff with it. So you can start off fresh. And the main thing is to stick with God. Have your devotion. Read the Bible that gives you scriptures that uplift you, that let you know that what you're doing is not in vain, to let you know that Jesus is always here to help you. He's the only one who will not leave or forsake you, and that you believe in it, and you truly believe in it. That's all I have for today. I pray that everyone is dealing with situations or being able to handle the situations that they're in. Like I said, you need to talk to your children, because the same anxieties and the same things that you're afraid of, they're afraid of too. And kids need to know that there's someone that can protect them or understand what they're feeling. And so sometimes they don't have to be the brave one. When you're a child, you should just get to be a child. You should be able to focus on learning and playing and finding out what your goals in life are and what your personality is and who you want to be. You shouldn't have to worry about a lot, grown-up things. That was my childhood. I was the childhood mother of my siblings, and I didn't have, as I got older, I didn't have time to really deal with math, and I still did a little good in school, but I had to make sure that my brothers and sisters had a clean house, that there was food on the table, and other things. I had other things to worry about, and because I loved my brothers and sisters, and I felt that was my duty. Who else was going to help them? If my mom was gone for weeks or whatever, who else was going to help them? You don't want to get other people involved, even though I know my grandmother knew, but you didn't want to get other people involved because you didn't want to end up maybe possibly having your brothers and sisters split apart and not seeing them again. And so you had to do what you had to do to keep them together. And we made it through. And yes, I would have liked to have it a different way, but I'm so grateful that even though I wasn't aware that God was using me and was preparing me for something else, that He already knew, and He helped me learn and grow from that. So that's what I'm happy about. I hope that you find peace, and that your day is not always filled with some pain or suffering, that you can find peace. And the peace is with God, who is the author of peace. He's never the author of confusion. He never confuses anyone. He never changes. So that's all I have for today. We're getting closer, and I don't want to keep saying that because it's like I'm saying, oh good, we're getting to the end, because that's not what my plans are or were. It's just a different phase that I'm going to try to do after I have 100 uploads. And so we'll just see and wait for when that happens. Have a good day, and until next time.